There are close to 1,000 LEGO Star Wars sets from all across the Star Wars universe, and between these, there are so many different ships and scenes from the Clone Wars represented in these LEGO sets. In modern years, we are seeing quite a demand for these Clone Wars sets, and we still get a few new sets every year. But is this necessary, or are we getting too many new Clone Wars based sets when we should be seeing something else? The Clone Wars supposedly ended with Season 6 in 2014, as the show was cancelled when Disney purchased Star Wars from George Lucas. When the show was cancelled, focus was shifted to other parts of the Star Wars universe, and LEGO started to make fewer Clone Wars based sets, with only a few single sets appearing after 2014. And many people thought this was okay, and the Clone Wars has had its run in LEGO Star Wars, and was being replaced by sets based on Star Wars Rebels, the Sequel Trilogy, and the other standalone movies being released. Jumping all the way back to 2008 though, when the Clone Wars first aired and the first sets started to appear, we saw an incredible amount of these sets from the Clone Wars taking spots on the LEGO shelves, from Jedi starfighters, clone-based vehicles, and even a lot of separatist action, which all was really good to see. Some of the best sets between 2008 and 2014 were Clone Wars sets, with incredibly popular sets being released. Some of these sets include the Elite Clone Troopers Battle Pack, which had some of the best LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper minifigures, and the ARC Trooper is still adored today. Another popular battle pack was the Clone Walker Battle Pack, the first and only battle pack including mostly simple Phase 1 Clone Troopers and a whole bunch of accessories to create some elite Clone Troopers. We saw a new ATTE in 2008, which was a massive upgrade to the previous version of this set and included some beloved Clone Wars characters such as Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, and Captain Rex. And then in the same year we saw the Republic gunship with good figures of Commander Cody and Plo Koon, even Asajj Ventress. One of my personal favorites is the Republic frigate, which is the last version of this vehicle we have ever seen, and that included really good minifigures for the Wolfpack Trooper and Commander Wolf, as well as a handful of good Clone Wars Jedi minifigures. We basically saw every beloved vehicle and scene from this fan favorite show in LEGO Star Wars, which was definitely ideal, and these sets aged to become nostalgic childhood sets for many older collectors today, with several smaller and cheaper sets, as well as massive and more exclusive sets, such as the Malevolence and the Republic dropship with AT-OT. Both sets that was only made once before in these Clone Wars waves between 2008 and 2014. Of course, when the end of the Clone Wars was marked in 2014, we only got two new sets, these being the AV-7 Heavy Cannon, including the only version of the Phase 2 Wolfpack Trooper, and then the Coruscant Police Gunship, which is the only version of this vehicle and included the more updated version of Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker, and some Coruscant Shock Troopers. At this point, it wasn't really certain whether new Clone Wars based sets would ever be made, and if so, they would appear once or twice every year for maybe 2 or 3 years to come. For the period between 2015 and 2019, that was the case. In these 4 years, we only saw 5 Clone Wars sets, namely the Senate Commando Troopers, the first version of Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, the Republic Fighter Tank, General Grievous's Combat Speeder, and then a new version of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, which is probably one of my favorite Clone Wars based sets. Notably after 2014, when the show ended, the minifigures based on the Clone Wars changed to look like the standard LEGO Star Wars minifigures, which was a really good thing as some of the Clone Wars face prints looked quite horrendous. In 2020, however, the Clone Wars made a miraculous return with a brand new season, as Disney finally realized how much fans loved this show and wanted more of it. And they definitely delivered with this new season to properly close off the show once and for all. LEGO released brand new sets based on this season, of course, namely the long-awaited 501st Battle Pack as well as a brand new AAT, and through these sets, the Clone Trooper was completely redesigned in LEGO, which I think was a really good move. In the years to come, we saw more Clone Wars based sets than we would have expected to see earlier, some based on the new Clone Wars season, and some based on the older seasons, which was always great to see. Some more necessary sets were made, and some unnecessary remakes for some reason as well. And to this day, we have sets coming in 2025, which is quite exciting. However, there are some complaints that LEGO is overdoing the Clone Wars, despite still only seeing 1 or 2, maybe 3 to 4 sets a year. And in a way, I understand that comment, because looking at other shows and other Star Wars material, we aren't seeing nearly as much sets from them anymore. Even the sequels isn't getting any attention these last few years. So, do we actually need more LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars sets? Or is LEGO overdoing it because of the certain segments in the LEGO Star Wars community bulk buying any LEGO set containing some clone trooper? I think it is a bit of both. The Clone Wars is not going to return, and there should be more focus on what is current in the Star Wars media. There are so many Bad Batch sets that LEGO never made, and we didn't see that much from the Ahsoka show, and the Acolyte didn't see any attention at all. Although that might also be because the show was a major disappointment. However, as Clone Wars is one of the most successful and popular parts in Star Wars media, I can understand that it is necessary to have new sets coming in every year. And personally, these are some of my favorite sets as well, and there are so many that are incredibly outdated that could use some modern remakes, and then there are some vehicles we haven't seen in LEGO yet that LEGO is surprisingly making in modern years, which I think is a really good thing that should continue. So, my general opinion on this is that we do need more LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars sets, and 2 to 4 sets every year for the foreseeable future will be perfect. We still need some sets including characters such as Commander Wolf and ARC Trooper Echo. And there are sets such as the Umbaran fighter that we have never seen before, and several other scenes and vehicles that could make really good LEGO Star Wars sets. As the Clone Wars is still so profitable to LEGO, it would be a good idea for LEGO to make these sets, and it would keep the majority of the fan base quite satisfied, so I would encourage making these LEGO Star Wars sets. But if these sets take the place of other parts of the Star Wars universe that is underappreciated in LEGO, I would rather have LEGO making sets on that, such as the Bad Batch or Jedi Fallen Order, both very popular parts of Star Wars that didn't get enough attention in LEGO. Let me know what you think about this and if you agree with my opinions at all on the sets being made today. Then I will see you all in the next one. God bless you and cheers.